Are you a deviant? You know, like those of us who binge watch serial killer programs, laugh at the stupid shit people do, and revel in anything adult? Well, you found your people. Join us as we crack open the door to the padded cell and release the insanely stupid, the weirdly wonderful, and those who choose to live outside societal norms. We'll delve into the strange, the macabre, the sexy, and the outrageous. So, if you're a deviant, then you have your place with us in the padded cell. Hello and welcome to episode 49. I was going to say 40 fucking 9. That's not a very nice introduction, is it?
You just upset it.
Okay, so welcome to episode 49 of the Padded Cell podcast.
Welcome.
I'm going to say I'm Vicky. Are you going to say you're...
Well, not bad, Ryan.
Oh.
Well, whatever it wants to be.
I was referring to you recently and you actually said, I thought you were going to call me a knobhead, but I didn't.
Yeah, it was on that reel you put up.
It was.
And
Yeah.
then I'm quite disappointed you didn't, to be honest with you.
Okay, next time.
It's become a term of endearment.
Yeah. So we're nearly up to 50. Absolutely mad. I'm not going to go on about it because I'm always going on about it. So, full disclaimer, just so you're all aware. We've got 17 people on Facebook now. Morning.
There you go.
Full disclaimer, I have got a chest infection. I've had it for a couple of weeks and I've got a very low, gravelly voice. I suspect that there might be a few people out there enjoying themselves while they're listening to my voice today.
I did on voice note the other
And if
day.
you've got any special requests that you want me to say down the microphone to make your day, then please send
You
them
got to
through.
tip us on Patreon for that.
They can tip us on Ko-fi, actually. We've got a Ko-fi account. Yeah, we've always had a Ko-fi account. Only 2 people have ever tipped us. We've only ever had 2 tips on Ko-fi.
I'll have my Lamborghini.
Maybe you need to start a
please.
Cameo, Vicky.
I've already got a Cameo. I've got a Cameo. I've put it out there on the podcast and I've done 3 so far.
Have you?
Yeah. They've been pep talks they've asked me to do.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Not all about domination either. It was all like different stuff. It's really
There you
good.
go.
Yeah. I quite like doing the cameos. If you don't know what Cameo is, you need to watch an old episode. You obviously haven't. Basically, you can go on there and ask me to do something for you. It could be a pep talk. It could be sending like a happy birthday to somebody or a happy anniversary or something like that. And you just pay me a few quid and I do a nice little video and that's it. It's great.
Oh, there you go.
Actually,
Cameo's
it's really,
boss.
really good. Yeah. So anyway, chest infection and so I'm very husky and I might have to have a little cough every now and then. I've forewarned Dylan and I'll try not to cough down the mic. The problem is that I normally do it when I'm laughing. Laughing kicks it off.
That's
And
how-
it's like a laugh a minute, isn't it?
I'll be
So
quiet.
this could go to shit, can't lie. Also, our Nance isn't here because she's not well
She's
either.
really not well, yeah.
No,
Bless her.
so she's actually in the doctors as we speak.
I was going to say
isn't
that,
she?
yeah.
So we're sending loves and positive vibes out
Fingers crossed
to
for you,
our
Nance.
Nance.
That's a love, mate.
She might be watching live on Facebook, and she's not watching live on Facebook. Why aren't you? There's an opportunity to be with us. You know what I mean? Anyway,
I'll be good to FaceTime and stuck in here.
see what I mean about that croak
I
there?
know, I
Started
heard
laughing.
that, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Calm it down a bit.
So, today is the 19th of August.
It is.
And it was another one of them days, you know, you're like, wasn't an awful lot going on, to be honest. It's because summer holidays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing going on. Nothing exciting going on.
I just survived the day.
But it is the birthday of Coco Chanel. You know who Coco Chanel is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who Coco Chanel is? Okay. Just Googling it now, yeah. So Chanel, fashion brand, perfume, all that, yeah.
French.
And actually Chanel Chance, just so you all know, is my favourite perfume. Chanel Chance.
Ooh.
Chanel number 5, no, it's a little bit old.
Mrs. G, note that down, please.
Yeah, Chanel Chance is my favourite. And also, it's the birthday of Bill Clinton.
Is it?
42nd President of the
him.
United States. Oh, you do know him?
I know him, yeah.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Yes, you fucking did, you liar.
If anyone remembers LimeWire,
Oh my God, LimeWire.
every
That
time you
is a blast
download
from
the
the
song,
past.
you get that speech.
Would you?
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
LimeWire, that was really a long time ago.
That was a long time
I think it was
ago.
quite illegal, was it?
I don't know if it was illegal.
I don't know, some dodgy streaming.
Yeah.
Dodgy streaming going on there.
In the comments section, people are saying, is that TV getting wonkier?
Oh, it is wonky, Dylan. I've actually just seen it on our telly over there.
Can we get the spirit level out, please?
Do you want me to come
It's
and
like-
adjust?
Please, yeah.
Well, do you know what? You can come and adjust and say hello to everybody while you're
my
there.
side needs to
It's
come
just
down
any
a bit.
excuse to come to this side of the
That's it,
camera.
hasn't he? He's done that on purpose, hasn't he?
Yeah, here's Dylan. No, yeah, wait to face him. Anything for a moment of fame. That's better,
my
isn't
side,
it?
No. But the way it was, yeah.
Fine.
This is where you like make
No,
it even
a bit
worse.
No, you
We've
need
got
to.
37 people on Facebook. So
Yeah.
Casey.
Just stay there and hold it.
Shauna, Shelley. Oh, Rach, are you Rach? Oh, mate, Rach. Laura. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Laura. Morning from Dallas, Texas. Cherie. What else have we got? So you got my face like they've been looking at me. Shelley O'Connor. And she says, I love you guys. Oh, how nice is that? Alana, morning. No hot flashes, I hope, today. No hot flashes, but I've got a chest infection, so you might get a sex line voice from me. Okay, have you got any comments over on YouTube?
Yeah, Mrs. G said she needs a cameo. Just shout abuse at me, lady C.
Oh, okay. Cough up then and I'll do it.
Yeah, she'd probably cry.
She probably would.
She'd probably enjoy that though.
Yeah. And we've got somebody, must be from Wales, Border. That's Welsh, isn't it?
Is it?
Border, guys. Yeah, joining from a tent in Dawlish. Signal is spotty, but I'll stay with you as long as I can.
Oh, there you go, mate.
Hopefully you can stay with us, Amy. And Sarah P. She's on her way on her. I think she's going to the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Because she's a biker and she's about to lose signal. She must be on the ferry or near enough anyway.
Yeah, ferry signal's terrible.
And Dylan's getting some hellos as well.
Hello, everyone.
Tell you what, they're all getting to know and like you now, Dylan. You're always getting mentioned.
I'm a likeable guy.
You're in the
You're a
club.
likeable guy.
You are a likeable guy, to be fair.
Helen from Australia. What made you get into bondage? Oh, fucking hell, that's a very long story. That.
We haven't got enough
Do you know
time.
what? I've actually talked about it quite a lot on some past episodes, so maybe have a little look. But I'm just kinky, is what else I can say.
Fucked up in the head.
The long and short of it, like, you know. Talking about Facebook, last time we were on 95,000 followers and we were getting about like 1,000 a day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's gone quiet. I think everybody's just like fucked off on the school holidays or something.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I have got a mission for all of you watching on YouTube and all of you watching on Facebook. We need to get these up to 100,000. I want it 100,000 by the end of the week.
Okay.
It's not a lot to ask, is it?
It's not.
We're on 97 now. I only need 3,000. Only need 3. So, everybody on Facebook, if you don't already like and follow us, and tell your mates, share our page with all your mates, because I want to get these numbers up. And all you lot over on YouTube, and if you're going to be watching back later on, tell your mates as well. I want to get these numbers up.
Yeah.
And then when we get to 100,000, I'm like, yeah,
Well,
on
party.
Facebook. Well, I might just do like a little thank you message or something like that. Yeah. So that's your mission. Like Mission Impossible. 3,000 followers by Friday. Fuck.
Spread us out to your mates.
Yeah. So, today is also National Potato Day.
Oh.
Potato!
Our dog's a potato.
That's for Dylan.
Yeah, thanks.
Say potato, Dylan.
Potato. See, it wasn't very satisfying, was it?
Sounded like
That's
Samwise
because
then.
you were trying not to sound Irish.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was a good Samwise impression, that, to be fair.
Potatoes. Boil and mash them, stick them in a stew.
Boil and mash them, stick them in a stew.
Just do me a proper,
Well,
like...
my accent's not particularly that Irish.
It is.
It's not. I've been living in England for like 9 years.
Okay, so if you're in a crowd of people, I'll be like, he's Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm not going to lose it.
Do you find that you got a little bit of a Scouse lingo going on
A
as
little
well?
bit. I'll go like, is right.
Yeah.
Like, what is?
Yeah.
I've been here too long. Well, I go back to Ireland and they just call me British now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. See, if I go back to Ireland and then come back here, no one can understand me for about 4 days.
Really?
Yeah, because I revert back to being really farmer and culty. And
I
yeah.
find that when I go back to Ireland, I come back with a bit of a twang.
Yeah.
The Kerry
Jimmy
twang.
does.
Kerry.
Yeah, Kerry twang.
Yeah, Jimmy does. He only needs to speak to somebody Irish over the phone or in the pub, and he starts going, aye. I'm like, look around and going, what are you saying aye for? Say yeah.
Yeah.
And he just picked it up dead quick because he has got a lot of Irish family. And so when he mingles with Irish people, it just starts coming out. I'm like, who are you? Where's my husband gone? So just for me, Dylan,
Yeah.
can you just do your best proper Irish potato?
Potato.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. I think mine was better though. Potato.
Yeah.
Anyway, for those around the world who've got no idea what we're doing, I'm not actually too sure myself. I don't even know where that came from. That potato.
It's potato day.
It's what?
It's National Potato Day. Is that what you said? Yeah.
No, what I mean, where that potato, the Irish potato, came from.
Keith Lemon.
It's
That's right. Well done.
I know him.
I'm so glad somebody's awake today. Keith Lemon. That's right. Potato. Thank you. So for those that haven't got a clue what we're talking about, that's where it's come from.
Yep.
So National Potato Day. How do you eat yours?
Chips.
Just chips. Do you like jack potato?
I do. Roast potato. Mrs. G's roast potatoes. Fucking. I don't know what she does to them.
Well, I
They're
do
amazing.
a mean roast potato.
Yeah.
Yeah. I buy a bag of Aunt Bessie's frozen roast potatoes from Tesco and just throw them in the oven for 35 minutes. I'm the boss.
And you're taking credit for that?
Yeah. Mate, I burn water.
I do a sick chicken curry, right? You just stick it in the microwave for 9.5 minutes.
I don't cook. Honestly, I don't.
I'm a shit cook.
I don't cook, can't cook, won't cook.
Yeah.
And so if you have come round to mine for a roast dinner, it's Aunt Bessie's roast dinner. And again, for those who are international, Aunt Bessie's is just like a brand that does frozen stuff. They do like frozen parsnips, frozen
everything.
Yeah, but it's good quality frozen. It's not like shit frozen. So that's the only way I can do a roast dinner. Right, so the other day, how long have we been online?
we've been started the podcast about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
God, Facebook are getting a little Brucey bonus again. Right, before I throw the Facebook people off, let's see what someone is saying. Crisps, roast potatoes are the best.
Just bring your microphone with you as well too, Vicky, if you can.
R.E. Okay, well, I'll see if I can read from here. No, I can't. Somebody's saying hello from posh Windsor. And they're called Earl. That's a posh name as well, Earl.
Yeah, I had ale.
Oh,
Earl
yeah.
of Windsor.
Somebody's agreeing with me. Can't beat Aunt Bessie's.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not
getting
wrong.
loads of hellos from all around the world. Somebody's saying another hello from Australia. Fern. Hiya, Fern. I think you comment on Facebook quite a bit, don't you?
Big in Australia.
Really big in Australia.
Yeah.
But, right, the other week I said Melbourne was a leading city.
Yes.
I went, all the Scousers need to get on this. We can't have the Aussies beating us. Liverpool's now the leading city.
Shut up.
And Melbourne is second. So all the Scousers have been sharing it out there,
Well
sharing
done.
our page,
Well
because he
done.
cannot be beaten.
No.
So, and do you know what? We're quite far ahead as well. There's like a few hundred ahead.
We've had a good splurge.
We've had a splurge. Splurge now is like, after you bought your sex toy in, you splurge everywhere. A splurge now.
Splurge, mate.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yes, so Liverpool are now in the lead. So those in
Excellent.
Melbourne are now going, right, that's it. We're going to be sharing with all our mates
There you
all
go.
around Australia now.
There's our 100k by Friday.
That's it, yeah. Right then, got more hellos. But I need to turn you off on Facebook, really sorry. So I can't even read it all out. There's loads of them. Anyway, to the 46 people watching on Facebook, thank you. Good morning to you all. But we are going to leave you. And if you want to carry on watching, go over to patreon.com/Padacel Podcast. Thank you so much and have a great Monday.
Can you do that / again?
Why? Chop!
Judo chop.
You take the piss out of me?
Yeah.
Why was it so funny?
It's like your whole body, like you just like you with a / at one point.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too.
Oh, do you know what? I'm here hosting. I'm doing I'm multitasking and I'm trying to keep everything animated and I'm going, so what? Got a problem?
Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
I need to have a cough.
Go on then.
Dylan needs to have a cough.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
Impressive.
That's only a little one.
Yeah.
Muffled.
So, I was in the Aussie the other day, went for an x-ray. I'm sitting there in the x-ray department on my chest.
Yeah.
And quite a few people in there. This woman goes past, she works there. And she looked at me and she went, I went, oh, here we go. And she went, you're on that podcast, aren't you? And I went, yeah. But I didn't want to talk too much about it because, you know, I'm in the x-ray department. But she was going to lunch. Anyway, I was fucking waiting there that long. By the time she came back off the lunch, I was still sitting there. Good old NHS, you know.
Yeah.
And she came over and sat next to me and she said, I think you're all a hoot, I love it. And I think what she said was on her lunch, she was just looking at the stories and the reels and having a little giggle to herself. And because I was obviously preoccupied, I didn't get your name. So I am so sorry. Normally I'll get people's names and give it a mention.
Yeah, you do.
So it's the lady in the x-ray department in Aintree Hospital. Hello.
The one lady.
The one lady who came over to speak to me. So we've got a competition today, haven't we? For
We
the
have,
people live watching us on YouTube.
Good
How
one.
many have we got on YouTube?
We have got
The 21.
21.
I need to
Yes.
scroll
21.
down.
What it is-
22 now.
I think people dip in and out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
if it
I
didn't
think so,
work
yeah.
or whatever. I think overall, last time we had like 60 or 61 or something like over the whole thing.
Yeah.
But any one
like
time it
dipping
was
in and
around.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure I've actually switched Facebook off. Yeah, I have. So what was I saying? So we've got people over on here. We need to do our competition, don't we, on YouTube?
Yeah.
What was our competition, right? Oh, I know.
How
You can
many?
do it because it was your idea.
Okay. Now, this surprised me, to be fair. I thought I'd have been close with this, so I reckon it'd catch a lot of people out.
Go on.
Go on.
No, go on.
We're going to do how many floggers do me and Vic own between the two of us.
Combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know the number, don't we?
Yeah.
And I thought with my number, you'd be, obviously, I knew you'd
Have a few.
yeah. I didn't think it'd be that.
Yeah. But you can't give any clues because then they'll,
No.
you're giving them a hint, aren't you?
No.
So, if you want to win a t-shirt from QWERTY.com, guess how many floggers we own combined.
Yeah.
Do we need to say how long we've been around to give them a bit of an idea? I've been around a couple of decades. Let's put it that way.
A couple of years, I'd say.
couple of
I've
decades.
started building a kit bag.
I collect floggers.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
They're very good, though, to be fair, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's...
They're a lot of fun.
We sort of...
Numbers are coming in. Fucking hell, 112. Bloody hell. Right, I'll let you keep an eye on those numbers.
I will, yeah.
And whoever gets the closest, I mean, somebody might actually get it. To be honest, I'm looking at some of these numbers here. Somebody might get it.
Yeah.
But if not, the closest.
Oh, toys in there. I had toy.
And we'll announce it later. So can you just keep an eye on those while I'm talking now?
I'm on it, yeah. I'm on it.
Also, Helen won a t-shirt last time, and Helen, I emailed you with the code, but didn't hear back from you. So if you're watching now, check your emails if you haven't already, just so you can claim your free t-shirt. Right, got loads of new Patreons. We've got Joe N, Sarah H, Lee N, Linda, Sam, Molly, Stud Queen, Amy, Rosie, and Simone. We've actually got 9 more, but that's quite a lot, so I'll just read them next time.
Yeah.
That's an awful lot of Patreon, isn't it? So thank you,
They're
everybody.
flying in now, though, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for your support.
Love that.
And a cheeky rib tickle to our OG 100, of which quite a few of you are watching. Lovely little group, that, isn't it? They've become really good mates.
Yeah, no, I popped in before, sent a picture of me haircut in before.
You sent a picture of your haircut.
Really?
Wow. Look at me. Look at me.
Well, no, it was like fucking podcast, but I haven't been in there for weeks. So, like, the first photo I tried to take, I was waiting until he weren't looking, and I just, the way you can quick tap to get your camera out.
Yeah.
Done that. And I didn't check the camera on it and just slipped it out underneath the garment and like just went to press it. Anyway, the fucking flash was on. He turned around. You okay, my friend? I was like, no, I'm fucking not. I was debating just walking out the chair. I was fucking mortified. And I was like, I don't know how that happened. And just fucking put my phone away. I was fucking mortified.
The shame of it.
Oh, it's horrible.
I'm just looking at some of these guesses on YouTube. 200.
I know, 200.
I mean, I know I've got a problem, like. That's a bit of a hint, that, though, isn't it, if I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll let you have a look at those numbers there. Right?
Yeah, I'm keeping up with it.
On it.
Yeah. There's a few that are close.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so I am going to start my segment, and I'm going to ask the people who are watching to interact a little bit. So again, right, if you can have a little look.
Just before you do start, are we setting a time limit on this competition? Should we give them till 1:45? I think most people have guessed by now.
I think most people have guessed, No, let's cut it off now. Tough shit.
Right, let's cut it off then.
Right, so find the nearest one. Or if somebody's actually got it, I can see the nearest one, I think.
Yeah, right. I've clocked the last comment there, so should we give away the amount?
Go on.
There's 80 floggers between the two of us.
Yeah.
I have 5. When I texted yesterday, I was like, yeah, she's probably got about 36 or 38, something like that. I was like, how many have you got, mate? She was like, well, 72, but I've got 3 sets of poi, so there's actually 75 floggers. I was like, fucking hell. No wonder it's taking you 3 years to move house.
Some people collect stamps. Some people collect mugs, shoes. I collect floggers. Fuck you. And do you know what? Not all of them I haven't bought them all. Some of them have been gifted to me.
I get that.
Now, what I've done before I start my segment, I know that some people out there are like, why do you need 75 floggers? Well, I mean, I don't really need to answer it. I just do, all right. But because they're all different, like shoes, they're all different, aren't they? And they are for different occasions, different styles, different colours. Floggers are the same.
Yeah.
So I brought a couple just so you can see the difference between just a small selection of them, and you can see why I have so many different ones. So you were talking about poi floggers before, weren't you? So for those who aren't watching, we have like twin sets of floggers. And these are like articulated. So they have like little finger loops at the top, and they're articulated, and so they swing around like really, really quickly. And we use these as a pair. We do something called Florentine, which is a nice pattern of flogging. It makes you look like dead boss, but it's not that hard, really, Florentine. So
I know, it's
I've got about 3 sets of pois, but they're all different materials. That's like a hard leather, but I've got like a soft suede set, and then Lady Artemis and Vanilla bought me a set, and they were rainbow. I mean,
I've seen them.
Oh my God, just because they're rainbow, they're amazing. So I've got
seen them.
And then, so they're hard leather. And then in contrast, I've got things like this, which are like plastic. And these are whippy. So that's quite whippy.
Shit.
Looks like strawberry laces.
It is like strawberry laces. Just don't eat them. So we've got leather. We've got the plastic.
Yeah.
Then I've got chain.
Ooh. Oh, hello.
Over the microphone.
Is that the...
Pick up the sound, Dylan. Pick up the sound.
Yeah, very
Is that
nice.
the guy from the market?
No, this was made for me years ago.
Got
this,
ya.
But it's chain mail.
Stuff,
so for those who aren't watching, it's got like a chain handle and then chain mail falls on it. Really good for electric play, actually, for cross conduction.
Oh shit, yeah. It's heavy as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I've got a rubber flogger. Look at this one.
I've seen you use
More
that.
sound.
That makes a hell of a noise when it hits.
It's fabulous. And it smells marvellous. This was made by somebody called Floggermeister years ago, and it's actually pond liner. He used to recycle everything.
No way.
All of his stuff was vegan.
Yeah.
And he'd recycle stuff. It was really, really good. And this is one of my oldest ones, you know. I've had it for donkey's years. All the falls on there.
I know.
But it smells fab, sounds fab, and it feels completely different to the ones I've just shown you.
Yeah. I do. I love this one. Didn't we use this on a Patreon episode?
I think we did.
Yeah.
I think we did.
I think that's where I remember it from.
And then all the ones I've just shown you are quite shortish. So you've got different materials which have different effects, but then the size of the falls makes a difference as well.
Yeah.
So I've got this one. This is a really, really, really long one. And that's leather, but obviously it's a lot longer than the rest. So what I've showed there, 5 or 6 floggers, and each of them have different materials, different lengths, they all have different effects. So I've got 75 floggers, but every single one is different apart from the 3 sets of pins.
Yeah.
This one's really, really heavy. I tend to use that underarm. I can go overarm, but often there's like things around and I end up whacking lights and everything.
Got to be careful of space in there.
But with this one, I go underarm and flick nuts with them.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if they're on a cross and they've got the legs wide open, I'll just go, fuck off behind you. Like flicking a tea towel on the nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's boss.
Yeah.
Happy Monday.
We're back. She might be sick.
Okay, so have you got a winner? Sorry.
Yeah, it was Miss G.
Oh, go away.
Yeah. I know.
Rigged.
It's rigged. Who's the next one?
I didn't want her to win.
Well, do you know what?
There was someone who was really close.
I'll give Mrs. G a free t-shirt. But who's the next one? Because everybody will say it's fixed.
Sarah Lawton.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm going to contact you. I'm going to give you the code for your t-shirt.
Sarah Lawton got 83.
And also Mrs. G as well. So well done, both of you.
Mrs. G got 83 as well, but she changed it to 82 because someone said 83. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Right.
Mrs. G said, do I get hit with them all for winning?
No.
She
gets a t-shirt and likes it. Otherwise, anyway, right. Everybody will be wanting hit otherwise, won't they?
But yeah, that's the way the comment section's going.
Better competition if they want freebies off me.
Yeah.
Free wax. Okay, so I am going to start my segment. And those who are watching over on YouTube, you can join in. I'm going to ask you the question, right? And then everybody over on YouTube can think about it. They can be replying while you're talking because we're a bit delayed on YouTube, and then you can tell me what they say.
Yeah.
So I am a big horror movie fan.
Okay.
Are you a horror movie fan, Dylan?
It's one of my favourite things in the world. Vicky.
One of my favourite genres. Do you like a horror movie?
Yeah.
Are you more of an action person, really?
Yeah, a lot more, I'd say so. Like modern war films is...
Oh, okay, like Saving Private Ryan and stuff like that.
No, more modern, like sort of.
I mean, that isn't actually quite modern.
No, I know.
1996.
Fuck you.
Might be modern for you.
I'm an old lady, what can I say?
Lone Survivor. No,
Don't know that one.
no. There's that Lone Survivor is my favourite film.
Okay.
That's it.
That's modern.
Which one's Lone Survivor?
Oh, thank God for that. I thought it was just me.
It's the one where he survives and he's alone.
Got it.
Do you want to
He
give it?
survives and he's alone.
Do you want to give anything away?
Oh my God. Brilliant. Brilliant. Anyway, so you haven't really got a horror movie that's like a fave of yours. You're more into actiony type stuff.
Yeah, I do like horrors.
Yeah.
The Halloweens I love.
Have you seen the latest Halloween?
Is that like the
The
remake?
very, very latest one. Where they do like Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter in it and that.
I watched the remake they made years ago.
Yeah.
Where Michael's like a behemoth
Yeah.
of a
No,
man.
this is the new one. It's literally just come out. It's
Oh,
really
no,
good. I watched
no,
it the other
I
day.
haven't seen it then, no.
What's your favourite horror film then? Seeing you're a fan.
Halloween 1 is up there, but I think it's actually Hereditary, if you've ever seen that.
No.
No.
Ari Schaefer, a very good horror director. He did Midsummer as well, too.
Yes,
if you've
I
seen
know
that. The film before that, Hereditary.
Oh, we'll have to make a note of that.
Excellent.
Is it psychological or is it gore?
Psychological.
Ooh, I like a psychological one.
I like psychological.
I like gore as well. In
Yeah.
fact, I've actually said what my favourite ones are, and they're both pretty gory. Well, one's very gory.
Yeah.
Right, so those over on YouTube, what's your favourite horror movie?
We've got Saw coming in. I was going to say Saw. I do like the Saw films.
Mm-hmm. What else have we got?
Some people saying vintage horror. Ed saying vintage horror.
Yeah.
Or psychological. I don't think you can beat psychological, can you?
No.
Something that messes with your brain while you're watching it.
Yeah. There's one in particular that's quite psychological. Somebody's just said The Nun. The
Yeah.
Nun freaked me out.
Yeah.
Psychological. Hang on. I think it's The Haunting of Jane Doe. Is it The Haunting of Jane Doe?
Oh, The Exorcism, is it?
No, that's Emily Rose.
Yeah.
Something Jane Doe. Somebody over on YouTube might be able to remember it. Oh my God. You don't really see an awful lot of like supernatural stuff until later on in the film.
Yeah.
It builds you up so much that by the time it all starts kicking off, you are freaked out.
Yeah.
And the very first time I watched it, here we go. Autopsy.
The
Thank
Autopsy
you.
of
Thank
Jane
you.
Doe.
God,
That's it.
I can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
But like I say, by the time you get to the end of it, when it all kicks off, you're properly in it.
Yeah.
You're ready for it.
Yeah.
I was jumping all over the place and I'm not like that.
Is that the one where they're
brilliant.
just in the morgue
Yeah.
and he's just with her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like she's too preserved. She's not quite dead. And
Yes.
there's something about she's like really like ethereal looking.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I wasn't expecting it. I read it up and I was like, that looks all right. Wow. Mind fucked I was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I wonder if people can guess what my favourites are. I'm not going to make you guess. I've got two. And they're both franchises.
I was going to say the part of a franchise.
And the first one that I'm not going to talk too much about is Final Destination.
Yes.
Final Destination for me is just the epitome of I'm coming to get you.
Yeah.
The old Grim Reaper. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do to avoid death. Death is going to get you.
Always catch
And if
you.
you try and avoid it, death's going to get you and it's going to get you good and proper. It's not going to be pretty,
I still can't drive behind them log wagons
can't you?
without thinking.
Well, funny enough, I was driving behind a big truck that had a container on the back of it. And I did think of Final Destination, even though it wasn't in that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm like, he was going up like a hill in the new tunnel. I'm like, that's going to come flying off.
Yeah.
And I don't normally speed through the tunnel. But I was like holding right back. I'm like, if that goes, I'm flattened.
Yeah.
That's where my head's going after watching Final Destination, you see.
I think
Anyway.
it's got to be a good horror film if it's still stuck with everyone
Yeah, absolutely.
for all these years.
Final Destination's just great. And if you haven't watched Final Destination, there's about 6 now in them all. I think the third one's the best. The third one, without giving too much away, there's a sunbed moment in it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a roller coaster moment in it as well.
Can't remember that bit.
There's 2 things in there that I used to love doing. And since watching them, every time I went on like a roller coaster, I'm like, I went on that Smiler in Alton Towers and it crashed and somebody lost their legs. Poor girl lost her legs. I'd watched Final Destination not long before that. I'm like, why am I even going on this ride?
Yeah, I know.
Dear me.
I know.
Anyway, but my all-time favourite filmed franchise, as somebody mentioned it before, is Saw. And it's because of the gore. Yeah. And it's so fucking clever. It's clever.
It is.
It's the whole moral dilemma that I like about it. If you're put in a situation with somebody and it's your life or theirs, what extremes will you go to preserve your own life?
Yeah.
That's what I like about it, because you don't think you're ever going to know until you're in that position.
What's the worst saw trap you've seen?
I know exactly what the worst one is.
Go on.
I'm going to talk a little bit about it later on.
Oh, go on, sound, yeah.
No, it's okay. It's okay. There's a guy, I think it's in the 3rd one, I'm not too sure, 2nd or 3rd, and he's on like this cross type thing with pulleys on it. So his legs are attached to it, his arms, and bit by bit, the wood that he's attached to starts to crank round like that. And on his leg starts to crank back that way. And you can literally, sorry, I know it's morning, but you know, I've said horror movies, so what you expect. Yeah. Everything starts to break and splinter. And it's the noise. I'm like, God.
They capture it so well, don't they?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And there's another one as well, but I'm going to bring that up later.
Yeah.
But I just want to talk a little bit about Saw. Because there's just some really interesting things that I read about it. But before I do, can you think of any real life events that have possibly inspired horror movies? Because Saw is sort of along these lines. There's been quite a lot. Can you think of any, Dylan?
Yeah.
Of like almost along lines of extra gory films.
No, just horror movies that might have been inspired by real life events. Let me give you a clue. Like Amityville.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's quite a few, actually. The Conjuring.
Yeah.
If you've heard of that. Ed and Lorraine Warren. They were paranormal investigators, and there's now been like a series of films, Annabelle and all around Ed and Lorraine Warren, and it's supposedly inspired by their work in the paranormal. Mm-hmm. Amityville, obviously inspired by the Lutz family who lived in that house. It's obviously now been proven to be a hoax. It did not stop filmmakers, going ahead and making movies out of it. Zodiac was a prolific serial killer way back who was never caught, and the Zodiac film is all about that. Poltergeist, another one.
Yeah.
That was supposedly loosely inspired by Herman House, this like haunted house in Long Island. And The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah. I didn't know that this actually was properly inspired by real life events.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. So the film was made in 1963.
Yeah.
But in 1961 in, I'm going to say this wrong.
Go on.
Capitola in California.
Yep.
Really sorry to the Americans. I've just massacred that word. It says Capitola. That's how it's like written out, but I'm sure it's something completely different. Yeah. It's like, when you see like Albuquerque spell, it doesn't look like that at all, does it? Yeah. Anyway, in 1961 in this place in California, thousands of birds started dive bombing houses and cars.
Crazy.
And like vomiting and stuff like that, or like half digested food. And it was like totally nuts. It freaked everybody out. And that was the inspiration.
Did they ever find out why
that
happened?
But they only found out years later that it was like toxic algae that sent them nuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Alfred Hitchcock actually used that as inspiration for the birds.
Good film, though.
Yeah. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh. So it's loosely inspired by, I say Ed Gein. Some people say Ed Gein. Do you know much about him?
No.
I'm a big serial killer buff.
No.
I haven't even got it written down here. But he basically skinned people. I've said horror movies and serial killers, all right. So he skinned people and made like lampshades out of them, and there's like a face on a lampshade, and he'd like make decorations on string out of fingers and stuff like that. Totally freaky guy.
Have you seen The Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah. Somebody mentioned The Hills Have Eyes before.
Sick film.
Oh, somebody said Blair Witch as well. Oh.
Isn't Blair Witch like the most profitable film, considering how much money they put into it?
Don't know.
They filmed it with just a camcorder in the woods, didn't they?
Yeah.
There's no special effects or nothing.
It went nuts that as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
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 So yeah, we've got some comments on here. Somebody actually brought up Ed Gein earlier on. So yeah. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about Saw. Just because when I was researching movies that have been inspired by real life events, Saw came up, and I'm like, how the fuck can Saw be inspired? Because it's just so nuts. But it's not actually being inspired by actual events, but there's been things that have inspired the film.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't seen Saw, I think, God, is it about 10?
10.
In that series?
It might be
now?
11. It might be 11.
I think the last one was Saw X, which is 10,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But basically, it's about a guy called John Kramer, who was diagnosed with a brain tumour and was dying of a brain tumour. And during his time in hospital, he felt that he was treated badly by some people, wasn't taken seriously. Then this is my life that's ending here, and everyone's just going about their own lives. Obviously, there's a little bit of psychopath in there as well. And rather than thinking, right, I'm dying, so I'm going to go and fulfill my bucket list and go on a cruise and all that. No, he decided to dish out some judgment on people who had basically lived their lives
Bit of karma.
badly and wasted their time.
Yeah.
That's his thing. He's like, you're wasting your time. I want more time. I'm dying. You've got all the time in the world, and you're a thief, or you take drugs, or you do this and all that. So, but he didn't just kill people. He set up games, and he pitted people against each other. So he would capture people, and let's say, for instance, because this is one of them, there's like a girl who is a prostitute and drug addict, and I can't remember what the other person was, but they've obviously done something. And he puts them both in a room together, and they're both wired up or hooked up to some kind of torture device, some kind of mechanism.
Yeah.
They are timed, and they have to get out of the device in the time, or the device will kill them. But the twist is normally the other person in the room has got maybe the key or the code to get them out of their device.
Yeah.
And in one of them, I'm going to mention it now. As I mentioned it briefly before. One of them is like a scold's bridle type thing. And do you know what a scold's bridle is?
No.
Okay, so it's a medieval torture device. It's a cage that goes over the head, and it has like a metal plate that goes in the mouth.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it was used in medieval times. Women who maybe had cheated or had said naughty words, or just being like a pain in the arse wife. Yeah. Put them in the skull's bridle, that'll shut them up. I actually wanted a skull's bridle made years ago for a photo shoot, and the guy was going to do it. You'll have to see. So Saw had this skull's bridle type thing set up on this girl, and the thing in her mouth, it was rigged to her jaw,
spring loaded,
spring loaded. So if she lost, it would just go boom and like rip her head off.
The jaw break.
Yeah. So that was one of the things. And I think the key to, I could be wrong, I've seen so many of these now, and it's Monday morning and not well. Yeah. I think the key to that was in the stomach of the person opposite her.
I think so, yeah. It was something like that, wasn't it?
And she had to get it out.
She'll be in a sec. She loves Saw films.
So it's those sort of predicaments. And I think I like it because I'm into predicament bondage as a dominatrix. Yes. I like putting people in positions where if they move a certain way, they'll get poked with something. Yeah. So they need to stay still. I quite like that. I've done things like hair bondage years ago. Somebody had a big long ponytail. I was attached by rope to a device. And as I was whacking them, the natural reaction is to go, "Ugh!" But if you did that, it'd pull her hair. Yeah. It's a very, very simple form of predicament bondage. But there's loads of different types. And this is why I think I liked it, because it was clever. There was predicament in there. And it was so gory, like the guy I was telling you about before on the cross. It's just the most extreme gore.
It's the
ever.
noise and the visuals with Saw, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
The creativity around the writing for this. And it does make you think, where are they getting these ideas from? And I read into it, and a lot of the devices have been inspired by medieval torture devices. Yeah. So when you look at Saw, when you watch it again, maybe look at the devices and think, that does look medieval, maybe look into it. Because I was starting to look into it, and every single one that I've found so far has actually been inspired by things that are real. Yeah. But they've twisted them round, obviously put like spring mechanisms in there, timers, all that kind of thing. But the original inspiration is from real life devices.
So good.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's so good.
All that horrific stuff we see in Saw have actually been used at some point. Yeah. They've just twisted them round, basically the writers. So this evil genius John Kramer,
John.
because that is exactly what he was. He's an evil genius.
Yeah.
He was basically inspired after a hospital visit. One of the writers of Saw was in hospital, and he'd been getting headaches for ages. And there was people around him in the neurology clinic who were very poorly. And he's like, gosh, what would you do if you only had so much time left? And he was really worried that he might have something going on. And it made him think, what would he do if he had limited time on Earth? And just in his head, he was like, what if you were twisted and you were coming to the end of your life? Would you choose to go down your hit list, like Purge?
Yeah.
Or would you choose to live it wisely? And this is what started the cogs going in his brain. So him and a friend, they went to college together, and there was a story, a real life story that happened when they were in college. Somebody basically was kidnapped, and their wife and child were held hostage. Thank you. And if basically the person that was kidnapped had to go through a series of tests, and if they failed the test, then the mother and the daughter would be killed.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
It's just
The farce.
time. Yeah.
I know, yeah. But how professional am I? Carrying on.
I know, you're just telling this
I
heart-wrenching
just-
story.
But there's no good time though, is there really? So anyway, this person, so this thing about kidnapping somebody, this
Yes.
actually came into the movie. In the very first Saw, hospital orderly that was looking after John Kramer was kidnapped and blackmailed. And he was told that one of the doctors that treated the other guy, he was going to get kidnapped. The hospital orderly was going to hold hostage his wife and daughter. The doctor went through a series of tests, games, and if he failed, then the orderly would have to kill the wife and child.
No way.
And obviously he was then sort of held hostage himself. There was something on him. If he didn't do it, then something would happen to him or those he loved. I'm not going to tell you what happened. You need to watch it. It's really good. But it was loosely inspired by, at the time when they were in college, this guy would go into rooms, people's homes, and tickle their feet. Tickle their feet. And that would freak me out.
Yeah.
Stab me, don't tickle me feet. And then just leave again.
Yeah.
Now, what happened there is he was actually being said and led by somebody else. This wasn't his doing. He didn't choose to do this. Somebody was blackmailing him.
Yeah.
And they'd give him a jigsaw piece. And on the back of the jigsaw piece would be the name and the address of the person that they need to go and tickle the feet of next. So he was going, and this story came up. So I've got a bit confused there. It'll all make sense. So the actual name, Jigsaw, and the idea of this whole, creeping in and all that, it comes from that.
It's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to watch Saw when I get
So,
home.
the jigsaw thing, it comes partly from the whole people are having to go through puzzles, solve problems to
Yes.
save their lives, but also it comes from this this person years ago was going around tickling feet. How mad's that? Absolutely mad. I mean, that's my worst nightmare. Somebody coming in and just tickling my feet and then getting off again. No? Oh my God, it freaked me out. And like I say, the torture devices are inspired by medieval torture devices as well.
Yeah.
So the best thing for me, I think, about Saw isn't just all of the crazy ideas and the gore.
Yeah.
But the guy that plays Jigsaw, that's the name of the murderer, Jigsaw.
Yeah.
His name's Tobin Bell, and there's something about him. He's just brilliant. He's a captivating psychopath.
Yeah, but if he came out and said, I am a psychopath, you believe it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And somehow he managed to be pathetic and psychotic at the same time.
You almost feel sorry for him in the films, don't you?
Yeah. And part of you is like, should you be feeling sorry for somebody like that? But you think he's obviously, he's got a brain tumour. Is he really thinking straight? Was he like this before the brain tumour?
Yeah.
No, actually, when you watch the film and the history of his life, there's been a sequence of events that have brought him to this place. And I think the terminal diagnosis and the tumour has possibly done something to him.
Just catapulted him
But
into
the way he was just so calm and menacing.
Oh, yeah.
And in there, you saw him quite a lot. But he had like this little dummy called Jigsaw dummy.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of actually, I think, Dylan, but I don't know whether we've got time to flash it up. And it's basically a jigsaw face. Here we go.
So cool.
And the mouth is like a little dummy mouth, and it opens and closes. And he comes riding in
laugh?
on a little tricycle, and Jigsaw's voice comes out of this.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just so many little bits in this film that just send your imagination running wild. The writers of this have done such a good job, and every single film, it hasn't disappointed. There've been odds ones that might not have been as good as the others, as always. But what happened in the end, in the last one, they brought the first film back round to the end, full circle. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely blew my mind. But when this came out, I think it was around 2004, I think I said, there was this word that was around at the time called torture porn. And basically, what filmmakers were doing at the time, they were really pushing the boundaries of what people will endure on screen.
Yeah.
Because up until then, it was very psychological, and the gore wasn't to this level. And so the writers inspired this whole new generation of gore movies, like The Hostel, The Hills Have Eyes. There's loads of them. We've talked about some of them. Especially Hostel.
Yeah.
And Hostel was our inspiration when we made our cellar dungeon in Townhouse.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Hostel, they basically use like old warehouses with like crumbling brick and paint and stone floors. Cold surfaces, concrete surfaces. Yeah. And so when we ripped out our cellar dungeon and redesigned it, I went, I don't want anything. I just want it to be raw. And so that's why we have bare brick, which are a little bit crumbly, and we keep the temperature in there so it smells a bit damp, the ambience in there.
Creates a mindset as soon as you walk in.
And that is where it comes from. It comes from Hostel and my love of horror movies. So I just wanted to bring Saw up because it really has been like pinnacle, if you like, to the gore movies that we see now. It was a trailblazer of its time. It really pushed the boundaries of what we can endure on TV, and then set the stall out then for lots of other people to push their boundaries as well.
Paved the way.
Yes, it absolutely did. Now, we're not going to do a dangly bit. We'll do it in the next one. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Just because we haven't got an awful lot of time. But just before I finish, there is a real life incident, and it doesn't say that this influenced Saw, but it's very like it. And it actually happened the year before Saw was made. So who knows? So there's a pizza delivery guy called Brian Wells, and he was rigged with a collar bomb. And he was given like a series of tasks and puzzles to solve.
Fuck.
And one of them was to go into a bank and ask for $250,000, which he didn't get. He left with $9,000. And the police apprehended him, put him on the ground, and he had this thing on. And he was like, look, it's not me. It's not me. I've been told to do this. Is going to go off. All of you move back. Yeah. Anyway, it went off and he was obliterated. And it was the lady who rigged this whole plot, Marjorie Deal Armstrong, and she said she wanted to use the robbery money to pay someone to kill her father for inheritance. But it was the whole putting this guy through puzzles to find codes and keys and
very
shit.
Very similar, isn't it?
Very, very similar. Yep. And that inspired its own docuseries called Evil Genius on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, have a little look at it. It's really, really good. But Saw came out the year later, so I'm like, I wonder if they maybe took a little bit of inspiration from that, because it's very, very, very similar. Okay, so I'm going to move on to a little dangly bit just before, to a fetish factoid just before we finish. So I have got a picture for this, Dylan. I'm just going to ask you to throw it up in a minute for me.
Problem.
Right, just before I carry on, have you all enjoyed that little bit of horror movies? Have I made any of you sick?
I think we should revisit that at some point.
Yeah, well, there's loads actually movies that have been inspired. Just a little bit of background, and just picking it apart just a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, some people say, really, really good, really enjoyed that. Good. Yeah. So, do you know what Piquarism is?
Piquarism?
Piquerism.
No, never heard of it.
Okay.
I've heard of Pikachu.
Piquarism is basically being sexually aroused by piercing another person's skin with needles, staples, scalpels, knives, that kind of thing. So we're not talking serial killers. I've chosen to do this one because we've also just done a horror thing, but it's not along those sort of lines. They are aroused by this, and it's not stabbing somebody to be aroused. It's doing it in like a BDSM-y kind of way.
Needle play and that sort of stuff.
And it comes from the French word to prick. And it's a big, big thing in the BDSM community, as we both know.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not into Piquarism, but I am into piercing people with things because I don't get sexually aroused by it.
Got you.
So people often say to me, what is your dynamic with all this if you don't get sexually aroused by anything that you do? It's because I'm a sadist. I'm a pure sadist. Yeah. And I don't like saying pure sadism, but people who are pure sadists don't get any sexual gratification whatsoever from what they're doing in a BDSM way. They can appreciate somebody's body and what they might be getting from it, like, nipple torture and stuff. But if I was to flick somebody's nipple, I'd laugh. I wouldn't go, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I suppose I am into Piquarism because I like the act of it, but I don't get any sort of sexual gratification from it at all.
Sexual stimulation.
My main thing that I do is needle play. And Dylan has got a picture that he's just going to flash up for me. Okay, so for those who aren't watching, basically this is lots and lots of needles that have been put into somebody's back, and on the end of them have been peacock flowers have been placed in the nub bit. I have had to use a little bit of surgical tape just to keep the needles in place because even though the feathers are feathers in the light, they can still pull, and I wanted to have that nice as a fan effect, like wings.
Yeah, they look weighty.
Yeah. So for those who are afraid of needles, I'm really sorry, but I chose this picture because you can't see it too clearly.
No.
I'm explaining it, but you can't see it too clearly. And I like doing needle play because it sort of, it tickles my medical side.
True.
Because you do have to use aseptic technique. There's a risk of infection and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a technicality around it, and it looks pretty. So I'm creative and I am medical as well. So that's why I like this. So the sadism side of it doesn't really come into it because most people that do this with are well into needles themselves and they like it.
True.
But I do this sort of thing for the creativity side of it, really. But I have put needles in boobs and scrotums.
For pain.
Yeah. I'm really sorry, guys and girls out there. But it's what I do. Do you need specialist equipment? Yes, you do. And you need to have a good grasp of infection control as well. Yeah. So anybody that goes into any kind of Piquarism, so that's staples, needles, scalpels, all that, you need to know what you're doing. And even if you are medically trained, you still need to know how to apply it in a BDSM way because it is different. So it's a lot of fun. It can be very pretty. And for the person receiving, what they are getting is like a histamine effect. When you put the needle into the skin, it goes red straight away. Yeah. The body sees it as a foreign body and like sort of protects the area, if you like, goes red. And then you also get like an endorphin flood as well. Then as you take the needles out, even if you keep them in a couple of hours, you get it again as they're coming out.
No way.
You can do other things with the needles as well, but I'm not going to go into that because it's a bit technical and for some people it may trigger you. So I'm not going to talk about it too much. But it's a really, really fascinating form of play. And I just think it's interesting that there's people that actually do get sexual gratification out of it. When I was reading on this though, it says, is this safe? And obviously, as long as it's consensual and everybody involved is doing it for the right reasons, but it says, if you enjoy this form of play, but it's getting out of hand, basically. So you just like want to prick people just for a little quick wank. You need to go and get some help because you really shouldn't be doing that. And don't prick people or stab people just for a cheeky wank, please. Thank you very much. So there you go, Piquarism. So yeah,
That's a good one, though.
I'm not a Piquarist, but I do like using needles. Yes. So there we have it. So any last things on YouTube before we go?
People just saying how gorgeous the needlework looked.
Oh, thank you very much.
And Kayla, they're saying needle play works for me. It completely untwists my brain.
Yeah. I've seen that Rosie said, is it weird to say I love aseptic technique? No, I love it. I love the fact that you're having to prepare everything in a medical way.
Yeah.
And actually, just before we go, medical play, I might talk about it one day. A lot of the people that are into it, they don't just want to have things done to them. They want the whole role play.
Yeah,
that's why we've got a medical room in the club.
So
you dress in medical attire and you do everything properly as if you're in a clinic because it immediately absorbs them and places them in that medical situation, in that headspace straight away. So the aseptic technique and the way you lay everything out, it's getting the person into the headspace. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Our little lab was on TPM. We used to do that.
Yeah.
It'd be it'd take him about 5 minutes to get him on the pump, but it'd take about 20 minutes to get everything
prepare.
ready.
Yeah,
so I can imagine
it's important.
someone who's excited to get that would enjoy seeing that.
Exactly. I mean, a good 15 minutes of my session sometimes was just me
Setting
preparing.
up, yeah.
And the brain's ticking over the whole time thinking, what the hell is she going to do with that?
Yeah.
And a lot of things I put out wouldn't even use. It was just a mind fuck.
Yeah.
It's great. Right, on that mind fuckery bombshell, we're going to go.
Lots of love, everybody.
So, if you're binge watching, put the kettle on. We'll see you in 5. If not, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you. And there we have it. Another day made better by listening to the Curators of Chaos. Thanks for dropping by. And if you enjoyed the show, we'd really appreciate you sharing the Love the Pad to Sell podcast with your friends. Don't forget to give us a follow on our socials, maybe some 5-star reviews, and feel free to send us an email to medic@thepadtosellpodcast.co.uk or even interact with us on Facey, Insta and our other socials because we love chatting to you. Make sure you stop by next week because, as Bowie says, I don't know where I'm going next, but I promise it won't be boring. Catch you soon.